Change. When was the last time that life threw you a curveball? Did you lose your job? A relationship fall apart? Or something really important to you just didn't happen? It can be devastating, can't it? And then for everything we have just gone through, from the pandemic, global conflicts, rising living costs, extreme weather, it's no wonder so many of us are feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and burnt out. But what if change isn't the problem, but who you're being will decide whether you collapse or transform? Even when everything around you feels like it's falling apart, you can ask these very two simple yet powerful questions. Let me take you back to the moment I discovered this for myself. I'm home one evening and I ring my mum. Mum, it's not good news. The doctor says that I can't have children anymore. And I so wanted to have children. Yeah, I know, Mum. Some people aren't meant to have children or get married. But why me? Why me? And everything just grinds to a halt. The reality hits me that I will never carry, birth, or raise my child. And everything just halts. I remember I sink to the ground, crying. You know that type of crying where every part of your body feels like it's been ripped apart. That was my curveball. What challenge have you gone through that's had you fall to your knees? Because over the next 6 months, I'm just filled with sadness. I'm overwhelmed. One minute I'm okay, and then the next, I'm on the tube and I just burst out crying, and I can't stop. My life felt like it was falling apart. And at some point, I wanted to give up on it. Now, luckily for me, I believe God stepped in. And he had my friend Jennifer come and find me. Now, everything about Jennifer is big. She's got big eyes, big smile, big personality. And I tell her everything I've been putting myself through. Jennifer, with tears in her eyes, she sits me down and she asks me those two simple but powerful questions. The first was, who are you being that's not serving you and others? Huh? What do you mean, Jen? Who am I being? Well, are you being angry, annoyed, frustrated? Oh, I get it. And I'd never thought about it that way before. I said, okay, I guess I'm definitely feeling sad. I'm feeling hopeless. And I'm feeling so lost. And as I sat reflecting, I had grieved. And there's nothing wrong with being sad. But I could see that I had been in the space of sadness for so long, it was having a huge impact in my life. By being hopeless, I was finding it really hard to go to work. And so I was having a real financial strain. And by being lost, I felt stuck. I couldn't even see my dreams anymore. Now, think about your life for a moment. When things don't go the way you want in, say, your relationships, your career, or an area of life that's really important to you, How are you being in those moments? Calm, defensive, patient, reserved, hopeful, resigned. Because I want you to consider that it's not what you're doing that's creating your results. It's who you're being. Your being's like the captain of the ship. It's guiding most of your actions and your results. It's that silent, invisible step that actually comes before the actions. Another way to think about this is we could have two people who externally have the same things going on, same team, project, finance, outcomes. But the person over here who's being resigned, cynical, frustrated, is very potentially going to take different steps and actions from the person over here who's being open, creative, passionate. Different ways of being create different actions, create different results. Can you see it? That's the power of being human. And then when we look at the world around us right now, there are ways of being that are just adding more weight, turmoil, and pressure to an already uncertain journey of life. The World Economic Forum survey found that 40% of those employers expect to reduce roles as AI automates more. And the World Health Organization estimates that over 1 billion people worldwide are living with a mental health condition. That's roughly 1 in 8. So who are you and I going to be about that? Because who we're being is shaping the world around us. And if we don't start to have honest conversations about who we're being, we're going to keep on adding fuel to the very fire that we're trying to put out. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all doom and gloom. Because we have ways of being that is absolutely incredible. We've created this phenomenal world around us. Passionate, creative, bold, thoughtful. But it's our ways of being that don't serve us, that if we stay in them too long, they can keep us stuck the way I was stuck. Now, this idea that who we're being shapes our world may not be new to you. It's been around for a very long time. But if you're being honest, are you living it consciously in your everyday life? If you are, fabulous. And if you're not, maybe ask yourself why. Through my experience, I've seen that sometimes we don't notice our way of being because we're just on autopilot a lot of times. It's in our blind spot. Sometimes we see it, but we're not quite ready to change, or we don't feel the full force of an impact until the partner finally walks away. Your finances bring you down to your knees. Or unfortunately and regrettably, our health begins to decline. So many people wait for the crash of an impact to change. But you don't have to. I want to share with you the nicer approach, NICA. Because life is full of challenges. They help us to grow and evolve. But sometimes change will bring these challenges, and we need to move through them. So the first step is notice. Get present to your way of being that's not working for you and others, or maybe you feel stuck or stopped. Your job is very simple at this step. Be self-aware to self-correct. Because haven't you found how easy it is to notice how other people are being? I can see the nodding of the heads. Yes. But a way to look at it is how somebody else's being is just information about them. How you respond is information about you. I know, that one can sting at times. But if you don't like what you see, please don't beat yourself up. Because remember, after all, you're a human being. So don't forget the human side and be humane to yourself. Because after all, we're not human doings. Who are we? Human beings. Exactly. It's in our title. The second step is interrupt. Now, I do find this can be the hardest because our ego wants to defend, justify, gives reasons and excuses why to remain the same. But if you can see that there's a negative impact happening around you and other people, then it's time to interrupt that pattern. The third is create. Now, remember my friend Jennifer? She asked those two questions. The first was, who are you being that's not serving you and others? Her second question opens the door to what's possible. She said, Elaine, who would you love to be? I wanted to say Beyonce, but I knew what she meant at that point. And I said, who do I want to be? Well, you know what? I want to be responsible. I want to be connected. And I want to be forgiving. And as I said it, I felt hopeful and excited for the first time in such a long while. And as I went through my life and I picked myself back up, I started to be responsible, which meant I took ownership of what happened. I started to be responsible in other areas of my life, my finances and my career, and I went on to create an amazing speaking career. By being connected, I reached out to all the people that I had pushed away and they embraced me. And by being forgiving, I let go of resentment. I forgave God. I forgave men. Yes, I was blaming you. And the hardest, and yet the most healing, I forgave myself. So who would you love to be in an area of your life? And what would that make possible for you? Because the good thing about it is you've been most ways of being at some point in your life. They're not alien to you. So why not every morning create 3 new ways of being that you can step into every day? Vibrant, energized, sassy. And that will automatically move you on to the last step, which is action. What action are you now going to take with these new ways of being? And I know it's not always easy to take actions. They can be very scary. But you just need to take it one step at a time. Because if you're being courageous, will you now start that business you've been speaking about for quite a while? If you're being adventurous, will you take that solo trip around the world? And if you're being bold, maybe you're going to ask out that person that you've been crushing on for a little while now. But we do need to take action. Change can bring challenges. So if you ever feel that life is falling apart, or you feel challenged, or you just want a better outcome, ask yourself those 2 important questions. Who am I being that's not serving me and others? And who would I love to be? Practice them, live them, breathe them, until they become second nature. Because when you start to live life that way, life doesn't happen to you. It unfolds through you. You stop reacting to life and you start creating it. You become the conscious captain steering the ship to the destination of your choosing. Imagine a world where we're really focused on who we're being. The ripple effect? Well, communities flourishing, families healing, conflicts softening into understanding. So remember, who you're being is a moment-by-moment discovery. Who you become, that's a lifelong journey of growth, self-discovery, and change. Thank you.